#1 international scavenger hunt for the 5th consecutive year. We are committed to bringing our excellence, success, and customer satisfaction into every living room and traffic island in the world. You may visit our website, GISHWHES.com, to find answers to many common questions, access your online account, or register for this year's hunt. If you prefer to visit the website, please do so now. Otherwise, stay on the line and we will direct your call. Our offices are located in sunny Southern California, home of the Baywatch set and the country's first toilet-to-tap water filtration plant. Our regular business hours are from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., Monday, Wednesday, and Tuesday, Thursday on alternating weeks. Please call back during regular business hours or listen to the following options to be directed to our automated system. Please enter the number corresponding to the last letters of your family name. Please hold while we access your account information. The next available service appointments are on
Friday, May 25th, 2018.
For an appointment between
4 a.m. and 1 p.m.
press 1. To search for the next available appointment date, press 4. Your call is very important to us. Please hold. Your call is very important to us. Please continue to hold. Your call is very important to us. Please hold. Thank you for holding. Your call is very important to us. To help us direct your call, please select from the following menu options. Please listen carefully as the options may have changed. For medical claims, press 1. For property claims, press 2. For retirement accounts, press 3. To review policy options, press 4. To speak with
Misha Collins.
press 5. As you know, GISHWHES is a unique phenomenon that relies on people like you. Yes, you. So how can we help? For general inquiries related to the GISHWHES scavenger hunt, August 1st through August 8th, 2015, press 1. To speak with our technical support team with questions related to the GISHWHES website, press 7. For information on products and services, press 9. For the Department of Large Objects that float when enough helium balloons are attached to them, press 2. For the Department of Filigree and Decoration, press 6. For all other inquiries, please press 0. You are a lone adventurer, strong of sinew and keen of blade and mind. You must be strong. Only the stoutest of constitutions will stand against the rigors of the journey that lies ahead. Yet you must be subtle. Only a deep mind can fathom the mysteries to be unfolded. Sometimes when strength falters, only sleight of hand will save you. Yet all will not be darkness. At times, your quick wit or cleverness will greatly advance your course. Such is intelligence. Logic will also be indispensable to you. In the end, when all visible resources are depleted, you will fall back upon ego, the well of the self which is humanity's last reserve. You find yourself in a natural stone chamber with a stream running through it. A narrow landing adjacent to the corridor at the north end of the chamber allows easy access to the stream. The water flows in from a cut in the west wall and flows out under the north wall near the landing. There is a door next to the water inlet. In an alcove near one end of the landing, there are many urns and pots. The water is very clear and appears to be about 3 feet deep. A skeleton sprawls on the floor just inside the door, a bony hand still clutching a rusty dagger outstretched toward the door to safety. If you would like to drink from the stream, press 1. If you would like to pick up the dagger, press 2. If you would like to rifle through the pots, press 3. If you would like to move straight to the next room, press 4. A 10-foot pit opens under your feet. If you let yourself go limp as you fall, press 1. If you grab onto a root on the side of the pit, press 2. If you somersault down talk there while you fall, press 4. A wall falls away and you find yourself in a rough, 5-foot-wide tunnel with packed dirt, walls, floor, and ceiling. A shining trail of dried fluids runs the length of the tunnel and the air smells of vanilla. Strange clicking sounds echo faintly through the passage. If you start blinking the dried fluid because it smells like vanilla, press 1. If the clicking makes you immediately think of an alien, press 2. If you start mentally calculating the volume of earth that must have been removed to make the tunnel, press 3. If you are claustrophobic, press 4. You are suddenly surrounded by carrion beasts. These creatures resemble squids equipped with spindly legs. They generally have 6 tentacles with which they maul and crush their prey. Their bodies are covered with a thin but hard carapace, and they are able to travel along the walls and ceilings. If you fight through screaming, press 1. If you build a fire to whip up some nice calamari, press 2. If you try to graft the tentacle onto yourself so that you, too, can travel along the walls and ceilings, press 3. If you can't stop laughing at how ridiculous the carrion beasts look, press 4. It seems unlikely that you will survive the attack. As you are wishing you had never left your boring suburban family life for this life of adventure, Merlis the Sage rescues you from danger. You spend a few weeks weaving in and out of consciousness in her living room. When you finally recover, she's disappeared. You see a desk covered with scrolls and magical paraphernalia, and shelves lined with dusty tomes. The apparatus looks so dangerous, and the runes and symbols so forbidding, you are afraid to go near most of the stuff. Out in the open is an ordinary chest. If you start to tidy the place, Merlis is so messy. Press 1. If you start sneezing from all the dust and have to grab your inhaler, press 2. If you whip out your Google Translate image capture app to translate the runes, press 3. If you wonder why the heck you are suddenly using the word tomes instead of books, press 4. The walls begin to dissolve, and you see that you have entered a dimly lit room. A large table occupies the center of the room. There is a chest in one corner and a huge tapestry covering the back wall. As you move around the room, things appear to shimmer every now and then. You suspect there may be more here than meets the eye. If you pull out some glitter eyeshadow because you want to shimmer too, press 1. If you open the chest to see if there are any caps inside, press 2. If you roll your eyes because hanging tapestries are so 1992, press 3. If you pull a chair up to the large table and wait for your server to appear, according to Yelp reviews, the service here can be annoyingly slow, press 4. You realize you are not alone. Benedict, the wandering priest of an unknown god, has appeared. He informs you that his once peaceful Gebite monastery has been plagued recently by an unearthly disturbance. Most likely, a vampire. The dead refuse to stay in their graves. In sleep, the monks are beset with troubling dreams, and some of them are becoming positively anemic. He leads you toward the monastery, and you fall into an open grave. If you think this is a brilliant place to stake out the vampire, press 1. If you still have your stick and want to bury it, press 2. If you marvel at the great opportunity of pre-dug sand to bury your head into, press 3. If you don fake vampire teeth and cloak and give a dead-on impression of Bela Lugosi, press 4. falls away, and you find yourself in a narrow, low tunnel of native rock. Small slides of earth and rock line the sides of the passage, with a larger fall of stones near the eastern end of the tunnel. A skeletal hand protrudes from the rock fall with an inscribed bronze ring visible on one of the fingers. If you climb up a rock slide and slide down again shouting, "Whee!" press 1. If you dig the hand out from the rock slide, press 2. If you go into full CSI mode and photograph the hand and each of the slides from all angles, press 3. If you break off the finger with the ring and run, press 4. You are suddenly surrounded by giant fire beetles. These melon-sized creatures are copper-red beetles capable of generating tremendous heat with their bodies that they use to attack their prey. They have a thick shell and move about very quickly on the wing. If you fight through screaming, press 1. If you lasso and harness a few to take you flying, press 2. If you are thrilled to see them because you have been freezing since you got here, press 3. If you think, great, more flying cockroaches, press 4. Unlikely you will survive the attack. As you are wishing you had never left your street gang for this life of adventure, Merlis the Sage rescues you from danger. You spend a few weeks weaving in and out of consciousness in her living room. When you finally recover, she has disappeared. You follow a stairway that leads to a huge nest and landing area on the roof of the cottage. It is not visible from below. The large, flying creature, evidently one of Merlis's strange animal friends that usually occupies the area, is not there. Looking around, you see what looks like a large egg to one side. If you settle into the nest and take a selfie for GISHWHES, press 1. If you think, cool, Easter egg hunt, and start looking for more eggs, press 2. If you start mentally calculating the size of the omelet you could make with the egg, press 3. If you decide to make the world's largest painted egg and start planning how to drain it, press 4. Incredibly dizzy and collapse. When you come to, you find yourself in a forest outside a large castle. From high in a tree comes a loud spoing, but nothing else. Originally intended to keep unwanted visitors out, this useless crossbow trap was forgotten. No one even bothered to put an arrow in it. If you look for large sticks to fashion into arrows, press 1. If you climb the tree to see what the bow is protecting, press 2. If you start calculating the force and angle of the bow to see if you could have been killed, press 3. If you pull out your AK-47 and scrape the tree line, press 4. You realize you are not alone. Benedict, the wandering priest of an unknown god, has appeared. He informs you that his once peaceful Gebite monastery has been plagued recently by an unearthly disturbance. Food and drink are yours for the asking. Helpful herbs and plants from the garden you may take, and other gifts, major and minor, may be offered. These you may accept or decline as you please, but under no circumstances should you disturb the monks or attempt to steal their personal possessions, or the most dire consequences may ensue. He leads you into the monastery, where there are small cubicles or cells that serve as bedchambers for the Gebite monks. Each has a thin straw pallet on a stone platform, a small shelf holding various personal items, some interesting, some not, and very little else. If you can't stop yourself from rummaging through the monk's personal items, press 1. If you lean against the wall to open the secret door, press 2. If you collapse onto a straw pallet and start singing children's songs to comfort yourself, press 3. If you demand to see what kind of treasures we are talking about here, press 4. The most heavenly smell fills the air. It is coming from some lilies. You pick one and put it into your hair as you move into the next room, which contains a large pool. A rusting suit of plate mail can be seen on the murky bottom. More white is nice, press 2. If you pull out your gondola captain shirt and start singing, press 3. If you loop the lilies together like a daisy chain, but with lilies instead of daisies, press 4. A wall falls away and you find yourself in a narrow, low tunnel of native rock. Small slides of earth and rock line the sides of the passage with a larger fall of stones near the eastern end of the tunnel. A skeletal hand protrudes from the rock fall with an inscribed bronze ring visible on one of the fingers. If you climb up a rock slide and slide down again shouting, "Whee!" press 1. If you dig the hand out from the rock slide, press 2. If you go into full CSI mode and photograph the hand and each of the slides from all angles, press 3. If you break off the finger with the ring and run, press 4. A wall falls away and you find yourself in a narrow, low tunnel of native rock. Small slides of... You are suddenly confronted with a giant jelly, a formless mass of translucent jelly about 3 feet high and 6'8" across. Its touch dissolves living flesh. It has no socially redeeming value. If you run away screaming, press 1. If you think, "Great, I've always wanted a pet with no bones," press 2. If you can't resist poking it to watch the undulations pass through its body, press 3.